cityscape of Anchorage, Alaska, with a focus on the skyline and the surrounding mountains. The world's attention turns to Anchorage, Alaska today, where President Trump is meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in what could be the most consequential diplomatic encounter in years. This high-stakes summit on American soil comes at a critical moment, with the war in Ukraine hanging in the balance and global alliances being tested. But just hours before this critical meeting, Trump made a move that has injected new uncertainty into the proceedings. Trump held a phone call with Alexander Lukashenko, the authoritarian leader of Belarus and one of Putin's closest allies, describing it as a wonderful conversation. This call is controversial because Lukashenko allowed Russia to use Belarus as a staging ground for its invasion of Ukraine. His government is known for brutal crackdowns on political dissent, making him largely isolated on the world stage until now. European allies are watching with growing alarm, fearing Trump may be legitimizing a dictator who has helped enable Russian aggression. The timing of this call, just before the Putin summit, sends a clear signal that Trump is willing to engage with Putin's entire network of allies. This approach threatens to upend decades of Western policy that has sought to isolate authoritarian regimes. The choice of Alaska wasn't random. Putin faces an arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court for war crimes, limiting where he can travel safely. Since the United States isn't an ICC member, Alaska provides one of the few locations where Putin can meet without risk of arrest. The security operation is unprecedented, with American and Russian teams working together despite deep mutual mistrust. Alaska's history as former Russian territory adds symbolic weight to this meeting, representing both connection and separation between the two powers. The city itself reflects the somber mood, with overcast skies matching the gravity of discussions that could reshape global politics. Notably absent from this summit is Ukrainian President Zelensky, despite Ukraine being the central subject of discussion. This exclusion has left Ukrainian officials feeling anxious and isolated, fearing their nation's future could be decided without their consent. European allies share these concerns, worried that Trump might offer concessions to Putin that undermine Ukraine's sovereignty and Europe's security. The principle of nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine, a cornerstone of Western policy since the war began, appears to be ignored. Critics worry that Trump's pursuit of a dramatic deal might lead him to sacrifice Ukrainian interests for a photo opportunity with Putin. Several outcomes are possible. The most optimistic would be a breakthrough deal ending the Ukraine war, which Trump would hail as historic vindication of his diplomatic approach. A more likely scenario might be an agreement to continue talks, possibly including Ukraine and European allies in future summits. But there's also the possibility of complete deadlock, with deep mistrust proving too great to overcome. Whatever happens in Anchorage will shape global affairs for years to come, affecting not just Ukraine but the entire international order. For millions around the world, these aren't just headlines but discussions with real consequences for security, economics, and peace. As the world watches, the future hangs on the words and decisions of two men meeting on the edge of the world, in a summit that began with controversy and could end with consequences none of us can fully predict.